Hello everyone, this is me, Professor Harshad. I welcome you all to Kautilya IAS Academy, Pune. This recorded series is brought to you by Kautilya IAS Academy to cater the need and fulfill the demand of all the MPSC as well as UPSC aspirant, not only in Maharashtra but also across the nations. This particular recorded series is designed to cater the mains compulsory English subject. As we all know that MPSC has also been devised and altered and changed and prepared its syllabus in line of UPSC, right? So you can say that अभी जो MPSC और UPSC का syllabus जो हो गया है is more or less 90 to 100% same, right? So there is no change with regards to MPSC syllabus as well as the UPSC, right? So as you all know that we have, this is basically a structure of MPSC as well as the UPSC syllabus now. Yeah, this is going to be executed from 2025, right? So with regards to the syllabus, we have two compulsory papers. Though I agree that these two compulsory papers are qualifying in nature, yes, but these are the stumbling block, my dear friends, in your despite having a good command of all these subjects from GS1 to GS4 and in an optional as well. But while coming to language papers, you are going to experience definitely few hiccups in with regards to negligence, first thing. Second, not giving a sufficient amount of time, and third one is practice. So first is negligence, then lack of practice, and not sufficient time for the preparation. So hence Kautilya IAS Academy thinks in that line and brought this series for all the aspirants so as to make their preparation and so as to facilitate their preparations in a better way. So as you all know guys that MPSC as well as UPSC, once you qualify the preliminary examination, you have two papers to take, and these papers are English is going to be compulsory, right, when it's come to second papers, right, which is the language paper, that you can select any language paper that is given there in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So there are 22 languages, right, from uh, like Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, Telugu. So you can select any language that can be said like your regional language, right? So hence we are in Maharashtra, so we are going to opt for Marathi as language, right? So what is peculiar with regards to this two language, इसमें खास और नया क्या है, right? So इसमें खास और नया दो चीजें हैं, और these two paper comprises of this two paper comprises of 300 marks. But all these papers, that is GS 1 to 4 and your optional paper, along with that your essay paper, consist of 250 marks, right? So definitely you have a higher weightage here, though they are in qualifying in nature, right? But we cannot rule out the significance and the importance of these two papers, right? Not only in your preparation, or maybe I would say taking your actual examination. This session can be, and though this session going to be an introductory one, but going to be an eye-opening as well. So why I'm saying so, this lecture is going to be an eye-opening one. There are two sheer reasons behind it. The first reason is like the language paper comprises of 300 marks and you are allotted 3 hours, right? Though there are 5 to 6 components that we are going to deconstruct it, वो जल्दी हम देखने वाले हैं, right? Right? So prior to that, I just want to make you understood one thing. For this compulsory paper, either in compulsory English or your regional language, say Marathi paper, right? You have to secure minimum marks, right? As we know that there are 2 papers and each single paper consists of 300 marks. So in 300 marks, you have to secure 25 percentile. It means 75 marks out of 300. फक्त 75 मार्क्स तुम्हाला 300 मार्कांपैकी घ्यायचे आहेत, राईट? बट I am going to bet with you that these 75 marks are not definitely a cakewalk for you, because what we experience and witness throughout our teaching careers, that though you perform well and brilliantly in your all GS papers, but people fail to qualify this paper so miserably. What we have witnessed, because ये लगते इतने आसान नहीं है पेपर, राइट? एंड वी नो द मार्किंग स्कीम एंड द इवैल्यूएशन पैटर्न ऑफ यूपीएससी एग्जामिनेशन, राइट? इट्स जस्ट नॉट लाइक योर 10th 12th स्टैंडर्ड बोर्ड एग्जामिनेशंस और मोर ओवर ग्रेजुएट एग्जामिनेशन. वो इस तरह से नहीं होते, राइट? वी नो दैट द हाइएस्ट इज जस्ट लाइक 1050 around 50%, right? Despite making a lot of effort towards qualifying this exam and securing the handsome mark in every single subject, though whether that is GS paper, essay paper or optional paper, but with regards to the evaluation pattern, it's very strict and stern. It's very strict and stern, let me tell you. So that's the reason these papers are not that so easy, and that cakewalk is going to be literally, you have to literally move earth and heaven to qualify for these papers. To tell you guys one more interesting things, you simply need to qualify with 25 percentiles, right? 25 means 75 marks, right or no? Yes, 75, 25 marks. But there is a catch. If you fail to qualify any of these 2 exams, say any of these 2 paper, whether that is compulsory English paper or Marathi paper, right? ह्या 2 पैकी एक जरी पेपर तुम्ही मिनिमम पर्सेंटेज किंवा मिनिमम मार्क्सनी पास झाला नाहीत, तर तुमचे समोरचे पेपर चेक केल्या जात नाहीत, और यू विल नॉट गिव युअर रिझल्ट ॲज वेल, राईट? दिस इज द फर्स्ट कॅच. सेकंड कॅच इज that whether you qualified for this paper or do not qualify this paper, UPSC, I don't know about MPSC because MPSC is going to conduct it for the very first time in coming session, right? अभी तो उनका एक पहला ही होने वाला है. So considering these paper, you will not get, or MPSC or UPSC does not disclose mark and the marking scheme and the like any sort of communication with regards to mark from the commission. So आपको किसी भी प्रकार से मार्क्स आपको इंग्लिश में या फिर मराठी जो कंपलसरी पेपर है इसमें कितने मिले हैं वो आपको नहीं बताया जाएगा, राइट? सो यू हैव टू बी रेडी, यू हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड, यू हैव टू बी कॉशियस with regards to this paper. Though we know that these paper are, we have been studying these papers since our childhood or maybe from our board examinations, and we can easily score that. Of course you can. Yes, of course, I'm not casting any doubt on you, but I can simply say that you have to give at least a minimum effort towards it. Moreover, you can watch this recorded video series so as to secure not minimum marks, I would say, but the handsome marks. What you're going to understand throughout these recorded series, all the given components there in the syllabus. Along with that, for every single components, we are going to have different strategies, techniques, and the practice sessions as well, right? So it's going to be easy for you. So I hope that you understood. 25 percentage, 75 marks. Yes. Yeah. As I said to you that every year it is not my calculations, or this is not my input per se, but what we received inputs across the nation, people or aspirants fail miserably throughout the year in these 2 papers. Yes, in these two papers. And you will amazed to know the percentile of these failures, the number of failures to candidate is touches to 10%. 10% candidate. You think of like you prepared, you literally strive hard, struggle hard throughout your, MPSC, UPSC preparations. You cleared prelims examination, and whatever. You have a stumbling block called these two compulsory paper, right? So I think failure at this level would be very regretful, and it's really pungent in that way, right? So ये जो failure रहेगा, I mean, it's easy to accept failure in GS paper or in essay paper, but failure in these two papers, though they are in qualifying in nature, would be very harmful, detrimental, and regretful for all of us, right or wrong? I think so. The failure percentage is very high. Let me tell you, it's not 1%, it's 10%. So you cannot rule out, though these marks of these papers are not going to calculate in your final calculations, right? But you cannot rule out the preparation plan, you cannot rule out the you cannot afford to fail in these two subjects, right? Otherwise, despite studying hard throughout the academy year, but this will be the worst failure that you can face in any competitive examination, whether it is MPSC or UPSC. Now, with regards to this subject, even if I say like commission, you have to understand I'm talking about MPSC and UPSC, because the syllabus of both these commissions are more or less same and similar. And with regards to these two papers, first is compulsory English and second is Marathi or maybe Telugu or Tamil. The paper pattern, syllabus, structure, and everything is going to be same. So there is no bifurcation, no division, sort of things. Yeah. So how the marking scheme is there in this compulsory paper of MPSC and UPSC, right? The marking scheme is very clear cut with regards to the 4 components of it, right? And I think when it's come to the first and foremost components, that is essay writing, right? As we all know that we have been writing essay since our childhood, but are we going to put forth the same views, standpoint, and the content in these papers? No. Though the commission says the level of these examination would be a level of matriculation. Matriculation 10वीं तक का ही रहने वाला है. 10वी पर्यंतच इंग्रजी तुम्हाला असणार आहे. But what we have witnessed or what we have been witnessing since since ages, that the level of examination is not at matriculation. Never ever. It touches to around like it's more than like it's up to graduation level, right? So though we have first component, and that is essay. Essay consists of 100 marks, right? 100 marks. There will be 4 essays will be asked altogether. Yes, 4 essays will be asked, and out of 4 essays, you are supposed to attempt anyone in and about 600 word. In and about 600 word. That's it. It's very easy that way, right? So what is different from our classroom essays or essay that we practice and study and write in our 10th and 12th examination? We shall be dealing with, we shall discuss all these things in our essay session. We are going to have separate session on all these separate components, right? And there we'll have an in-depth study and a strategy of it, right? Yeah. So the first, essay writing, a major chunk, I would say 35% chunk is dedicated to essay writing, right? So we have to have a knack over essay writing. But to write essay, right? To write an essay, you have to have command of English language. Otherwise, it's going to be disastrous for you. On the face of it, it seems like 100 marks. Oh, ये तो मेरे लिए बहुत आसान होने वाला है. I can easily get 30, or let's say like 40-50 marks. But as we know that even if you write an essay adeptly and so skillfully, what we have, like, the marking scheme is 50% only. How many? 50%. How much? 50%. So think of, if you write an essay that is so adept, skillful, and up to the mark, your calculations will be at 50% only, right? So say you will get only 20-25 marks. 20, not more than 20-30 marks, right? So the base of these entire paper, I would say, would be a grammar and English language in total, right? And we all are going to cover these, we are going to cover all these points, right from the vocabulary, the technique and strategy to learn, and to strategy to learn vocabulary and to hone creative writing as well, right? So be with me. Then the reading comprehension. This is the favorite part of us, right? Everybody thinks that this is not something that is difficult or tough nut to crack, right? But yes, I think when it's come to the comprehension part of UPSC examination per se, as we witness CSAT as well, right? Though the difficulty level is not at par with CSAT, but yes, it is not even less than the CSAT. You will have a long, lengthy essay. In CSAT paper, you have, a passage of 3 to 4 lines, max to max. And on 3 to 4 lines, you have one question, right? But here in this case, you have long, lengthy passage of around 20 lines. Think of it. You have only one passage, right? And that is too long and lengthy. So it almost becomes difficult for you to interpret and get the main gist of it. ती जी मधली आयडिया आहे, ती जी कोर आयडिया आहे, ते घेण्यासाठी you literally beats your brains out for that, right? So considering that point, we are going to have a separate and dedicated session for this. Moreover, we will have different components, different comprehension part. We'll start with the smallest one and we'll reach to the maximum one, right? Yes. Then the toughest part of this paper, I would say, that to make précis writing, not is precise. Precise is different. PRECISE, precise. Precise is means very brief or succinct. SUCCINT, succinct. Brief and succinct mean precise, right? Very clear. But this is précis. This is précis writing. Herein you will, you are asked around 10-12 lines paragraph, and in 10 lines paragraph, you have to make it so succinct, so brief, and to the point, without losing the essence of it. Without losing the essence of it. So, thinking in that line, it is almost difficult. People do not have the strategy. People do not and never ever practice précis writing, and this is where they fail miserably. Yes. But if you ask me, then I have a solution. Yeah. Précis writing is going to be definitely a easy tool and a task for us, and attain a maximum marks in this. I have a full strategy. Along with the strategy, we will have a few practice sessions as well. And moreover, I'll give you an example, right? Tips and techniques, these are the embedded things. These are the added things. You just rest assured about it. Yes. So with regards to essay, you have 100 marks. When it's come to comprehensions, you have 75 marks. With regards to précis writing, you have 75 marks. And in total, what's the total? And the last part of it is like usage and vocabulary, right? Now, usage and vocabulary, this part consist of grammar and vocabulary, I would say. Grammar and vocabulary. Yes. These two parts consist of grammar and vocabulary. Now, what comes under this, we'll discuss in our next slide. So, if we took the calculation, 100 plus 75 is 250, 250 plus 50 is 300, right? So, these are three components which are single, you will have only one question, but with regards to this usage and vocabulary, you have total 50 questions. You have total 50 questions, and the questions are a bit tricky, right? So, you can score maximum marks in these two sections. Let me tell you. First is comprehension, second is essay writing, and third one is grammar and vocabulary. Essay, it depends on your strategy, techniques, and practice, I would say. That I would say solely depend upon your language skill and language acumen. Yes, language skill and language acumen. Now, what do I mean by this? Language acumen. Language acumen means like having the greatest skill, interest, knowledge, and the execution of language, right? So, if you have language acumen, then it's going to be cakewalk for you. So, moving ahead, you have a short essay that we say essays ask for 100 marks, wherein you don't need to show any in-depth knowledge as such. The basic level of knowledge along with the knowledge of English language, right? So I'm not going to make you you suppose not to be panic about it, yeah. And there you absolutely require no preparation. Absolutely require no preparation. Then what do you require? You require the essentials component of essay writing, creativity, and a language skill. And I think throughout this recorded series lecture, I am going to hone you that language competency and creativity. Yes, be with me. Yeah. So with this GS paper, you can definitely solve, or if you can definitely attempt AC question so conveniently and so easily. Yes. So as we only know, like essay has three part: introduction, body, and conclusion. That to start with the either with a quote or a story or any quotes from Bhagavad Gita. That's it with, right? But how we are going to execute that? This is what we are going to understand and learn in a coming session. Don't worry. Yeah, the next component is for 75 marks, and that is reading comprehension. As I told you, that there are around 15 to 20 line long lengthy passage, and based on that passage you will be asked certain, the number of questions are not fixed, but yes, you can think that like it's more than 10 questions, right? So it's again going to be easy. If you are a regular newspaper reader, then definitely it's not that difficult and a cumbersome task for you, right? Yes. Yeah. Then the pressay writing. Pressay writing is nothing but basically a long narrative passage based on any subject and any topic. Yes. So based on that topic, there are around like 15 to 20 line passage, and you have to curtail it, cut short. Curtail का मतलब होता है cut short, or you have to write the gist of it, not the summary. Summary is altogether different, right? You have to write the gist of it, and what are the techniques of writing it along with the language competency. What do you require other, that we'll definitely discuss in this session, so don't worry. So it is about like 100 and 1000 word. You have to curtail it to not more than 200 words, not more than 200 words. So think about, like, you can make the matter, it's very easy to make the matter from 200 to 1000, but making the matter vice versa from 1000 to 200, it's a gigantic and challenging task, right? Yes. Then you have a usage of vocabulary and grammar. Vocabulary and grammar, we have these components, right? Basically, when it's come to vocabulary and a grammar consists of 50 marks, right? But every single questions is asked on every single component of grammar, right? It is not that easy again, right? When it's come to correcting a sentence, so here the error spotting. So now error spotting can be from any topic like noun and pronouns here, error, or a error of subject verb agreement, right? Or an error of other components, right? So with regards to these 50 marks, it's basically, you can say, the quintessence of or the essence of the entire grammar, right? So considering essay, comprehension, précis, all these things are easy for you, right or wrong? Because we have only one questions to ask and we have maximum marks as well. But this grammar portion has 50 marks and they ask you every single question on every single topic. So spot the error or spotting the error from any component, right? Generally, they ask you from from noun and pronoun, or moreover they ask you from subject, verb, and agreement, right? Either or, neither nor, not only but also how you are going to use it, right? When we come to one plural, second singular, how you are going to match with the verb. So all, I mean, everything will be clear. Don't worry. So supplying the missing word, you will be given a complete sentence and the one blank will be left. So you are supposed to find out the exact accurate word. So we will definitely learn the ways and the strategy and techniques of improving vocabulary as well. So don't worry. So using correct form of verb, here you require the knowledge of tenses as well, right? Using a correct form of verb, you require a knowledge of tenses. So tenses, along with the tenses, we will have verbs and the, how are going to understand the irregulars form of verb and tenses. If you understand tenses well, I don't think that using verb will be difficult for you, right? Then, though these are easy ones, synonym and antonym, it is said that tenses and the vocabularies are the building blocks of any language, right? So I would say synonym and antonym are the building blocks of your entire preparation for compulsory English paper. Because once you understand the proper grammar, once you understand the proper vocabulary, then only you can execute and put that vocabulary into practice. Maybe that is in essay, or maybe that is in précis, or any component of it, right? Or when it's come to like the Marathi paper, translation, wherein we have translation as well. Yes, and we will also cover the part of translation, don't worry. Yeah. So sentence as direct, indirect, right? That we say a part of narration as well. So you have part of narration, but narration part is the toughest part in grammar. One is synthesis, that is simple, compound, complex, synthesis, and second part is narration. So direct, indirect, it is like direct, indirect as well. Both pronunciation are possible, don't worry. Yeah. So narration part, but I have prepared a notes which is so easy, even any classroom student can understand. Even a first standard student can understand what is a narration, direct and indirect, right? So is going to be the easiest way to understand the part of narration, right? Yeah. Then making sentence as direct. So you'll be asking like convert that sentence from active voice to passive voice, or the passive voice to active voice. Make it like simple to complex, or complex to compound, or compound to simple compound, right? So this way, asking question, right? Or maybe they ask you to sentence transformations. Yeah. Fill in the blanks. Herein again, fill in the blanks. It may be of like part of prepositions, part of active vocabulary, or part of missing words as well, right? Yeah. So making sentence using phrases. As we know that we have phrases, clauses, idioms, and proverbs, right? So I'm going to make you understood the difference between all these four components: phrases, clauses, idioms, and proverb, and how you're going to fix all these things into perfect context. All right. Yeah. So this is basically these many components are asked for 50 marks only, right? So you will have one single sentence, one single questions on every single grammar components, right? Yeah. So moving ahead, now how you're going to manage time. Of course, I'm going to give you the tips and techniques for every single component, but how you're going to start with the introductory lecture itself, because this is going to be a pre-tutorial and introductory lecture for you, right? So how you're going to start your preparations right from the first lecture. This is where I brought in these slides for you, and this is where I brought in things for you. How you are going to calculate and manage your time for compulsory English lecture. When it's come to short essay, like it's a matter of introduction, body, and conclusion. It's not say so. You have to devote your time, not more than 50 minutes. Not because it's a matter of writing 600 words only. So 600 words can be written not more than 25 minutes. Not more than. I myself can write, around 1000 words in 40 to 45 minutes, right? So it's all it's a matter of practice, and it's a matter of content creation and techniques. Practice, content creation, and techniques. So I'm going to tell you all these things, don't worry. So 50 marks to be given for compulsory papers, essay writing parts, right? Then, as I said to you, like the Prese is the toughest one, right? Prese really require that hardcore understanding of grammar, not only the grammar, but the comprehension of the given passage. Yes, hardcore understanding. So if you have that, then only you can curtail and cut short that long lengthy paragraph into a small one, right? So here you require 55 minutes. 55 minutes, yes. When it's come to reading comprehensions, not more than, I will say, when it's come to like reading passage of 20 lines require 20 minutes. Moreover, solving 10-15 questions require 10-15 minutes, and not more than that. So 45 minutes are enough for this component, and the rest of it 30 minutes to solve 50 questions, because there are questions which can be solved just in a trance. I would say just in a fraction of a second. There are sentences, when it's come to grammar and vocabulary, you can solve that questions in just a matter of 10 seconds. Yes, there are again sentences you can say, or a question based on grammar and vocabulary that may takes more than 20 seconds. But you can save this time here and cash out here, maybe in essay writing or maybe in translation. Yes, so you can utilize that time here in comprehensions and language and vocabulary. Yes. Moving ahead. Yeah. Now we have a compulsory English paper. If you are from Maharashtra, definitely you are going to opt for Marathi paper. Yes. Second compulsory paper, definitely that we can say that the regional language, the 22 language in 8th schedule of the constitution. So we are from Maharashtra, so आपण मग मराठीच घेणार, राईट? सो मग मराठीमध्ये नेमकं वेगळं काय आहे ते आता बघूयात आपण. याच्यामध्ये नक्कीच एक गोष्ट आहे, ते म्हणजे 100 मार्क्सचा तुम्हाला निबंध असणार आहे, बरोबर? येस, यू विल हॅव 100 marks essay. Yes, and the strategy and techniques will be the same, and I'm going to teach you everything. Reading comprehension will be of 60 marks. There in the English language paper, you have comprehension for 75 marks. Then Prese writing, here again you have 60 marks. But there in English language paper, you have for 75 marks. Look at the margin and look at the difference between English, compulsory English paper, whereas in a regional language or a Marathi paper, right? So, but here is one more added component is there, and that can be, I would say, as difficult as Prese writing. Yes. What is that? That is basically 40 mark translation. So when it's come to translation, you have two components, and each components will be for 20. Each components will be asked for 20 marks. So in first in first sections you'll be you are asked to translate from Marathi to English, and second component vice versa, English to Marathi. So going to be tough for you when it's come to the regional languages, right? You cannot rule out the significance and the importance of English language even in regional papers, because you have to translate from Marathi into English and from English into Marathi, right? So particularly when it's come to our recorded lecture series, we are going to focus on the part of translation. And I think I said I'm good at it. I'm not good at it, I'm excellent at it. Yes. So translation, 40 marks. So from this regional language paper, we are going to understand this part, that is translation. Then the usage and vocabulary is for 40 marks. So when it's come to like 100 plus 60 plus 60 is like 220 plus 40 marks translation, and 260 and plus 40 marks translation is 300, right? So this is basically of your Indian language paper. But particularly here in this recorded series, we are going to focus on compulsory English language. Moreover, we shall take a special component from regional language, and that is translation. All right? Yes. Then time management. I don't want to discuss this time management. I want you to take the screenshot of it. Yeah. Then how you are going to prepare for it? Of course, I'm going to deal with every single component separately. But if I ask you roughly how you are going to prepare from the very first day for this 2 compulsory paper, then that you have to start with vocabulary. I am going to tell you tips and techniques for improving and the building vocabulary, not now, but during the time of, or maybe when we discuss this part, particularly the building vocabulary, then that time we will understand it. Yes. Then practice essay writing. Once you have sufficient amount of data and a content, you can start putting your views maybe on paper or anywhere you want to, right? So this way you can let out your feeling, you can use your creativity, build your creativity and hone your creativity this way, I would say. Then the part of comprehension practice is again very important, that you can even do it while reading newspaper as well. Yes, there are market guides available for comprehension. You can solve any comprehension, and this is how you can good to go with. Yes. Focus on grammar. For grammar, we'll have definitely a in-depth analysis of every single component in this recorded series. So grammar is again essential aspect of all this program, because on the face of it, though we know like we have AC, we have Presse, and we have comprehension part. Why do we require grammar? But guys, to tell you, behind all these 3 things, you require grammar, you require vocabulary, right? So without these 2 things, you cannot even write a single word or a single sentence in English language, right? So ऐसे लिखना है, आपको पहले vocabulary पता होनी चाहिए. शब्द कहाँ से लाओगे भाई? Along with that, you need to have the command of English grammar as well, right? So first we'll start with the grammar, and then we'll think of essay, presse, and comprehension, right? And giving a mock test or watching this video again and again would be beneficial for your preparations, and I would say to secure best possible marks in this particular paper. So with regards to this, I'm going to show you one. I mean, like I have all these 10 years past previous year question paper, but one paper will be suffice to make your acquaintance with the kind of paper. But definitely in the end, we will definitely solve 1 or 2 question papers, and that will be a full length paper. Yes. How we are going to solve it? Yes. For a time being, let's try and understand. Let's take the question paper of, yes, visible? All right. Yeah. So this basically a questions paper of 2024 compulsory English. Here we have, yes, here we have 300 marks. Just a moment. We have 300 marks and we have 3 hours for it, right? What we have discussed, everything is there. Don't worry, we are going to solve 2 previous year question papers at the end of it, including the essay, including the précis, comprehension and the grammar part. Don't worry for that. Yes. So you just have a look at how the question papers look like, right? How the question paper looks like in reality before taking this paper into before taking this paper in yeah. So it's going to be easy for you, right? So these are basically 4 essays and you have to attempt any one in and around 600 words, right? As I discussed at the very outset of the paper, that any one in and about 600, you can definitely increase the number of words. Don't worry. Yes. So then second is for 75 marks. Yeah. So there will be around 5 questions and based on that 5 questions, you see. Yeah. There are 5 questions and you're supposed to attempt enumerate the agenda of the British rule in India. These are very, very easy questions. You simply need to look at the passage and just start writing the answers. Looking at the passage and start writing the answer, right? Yeah. So, but that comprehension should be, you should comprehend the passage well. You should understand the passage well. That is only the prerequisite. Only the prerequisite is to understand the passage. What we understand next is précis writing. As we all know that you have a long lengthy passage, you can think of is an around more than 5, 10, 20, more than 20, yeah, more than 20 line is around 697 word approximately 697, 700 words. So the passage of 700 words you have to curtail and cut short in just 150 to 200 words. 150 to 200. Now what you are going to do that, we shall discuss it. Yes. Then in the end, the last part and the question number 4 is for grammar and vocabulary. So as you can see here, in every single component, little learning is dangerous thing. So unnecessary thing, making necessary correction here, right? Making necessary correction. Then how terribly sad. These are basically an examples of it. We'll definitely understand, we'll definitely solve all these papers, and after every single components and after every single topic, we shall have the previous year question paper, right? So that will be easy for you to understand. Yeah. Supply the missing word. As I said, like supplying the missing word. Yeah. Don't walk on the grass, right? I lived in Uttarakhand for 5 years. So these are basically a preposition, sometimes missing of noun and sometimes missing of vocabulary as well. Yes. How you are going to use like I lived there for, I lived there since, the difference between since and for, I'm going to understand. I'm going to teach you, don't worry. Yes. So write the antonyms of the following. Optimist care. This is what? Like quick, chest, profit. Yes. Then rewrite the sentence directed without changing the meaning. Remove to. Here in this sense, you are asked remove to. Then change the voice. Then superlative degree. Yeah. Then the question number 5th is again for the 5 marks. I mean, every single component, there are around 10 components. Yes. So here in sentences like using, this following words make a sentence that bring out the meaning clearly. You simply need to write the exact clear-cut definition and the meaning of speculate. Now, what is speculate? Speculate means like to guess for the things or for the upcoming event without having anything in your hand, right? So that is speculate. So if you think of like synonyms, it's like prophecy, guess, conjecture, right? Foresee, right? Conjecture, prophecy, guess, foresee. So these are basically speculation. These are, and sometimes you can use projection as well. As we say, like the projected cost, projected cost, right? Yes. Then inquisitive, forbearance, nocturnal क्या होते हैं, right? Yeah. Then the last part of this is appropriate word to fill it. Now, what you are going to fill with a target or targeted. We are going to understand it everything in step-by-step manner so that you can solve this paper hassle-free. Then in the end, you have idioms and the phrases that I will give you around like a meaning of 150 to 200 idioms and phrases, and I think that will solve you around the, I would say all these idioms and phrases. And by the time, if you are a regular reader, if you are a regular I would say newspaper reader, then I don't think these idioms and phrases will be difficult and a challenging part for you. So with this, guys, I can say I have already told you the syllabus, paper pattern, question paper pattern. Then I already discussed about these, the different components of it, time management. So tomorrow onwards, we are going to learn step by step. We shall start with the grammar portion, because I think grammar is the building block of language. So we'll start with the language first, grammar first, and we'll take up this essay, pressay, and comprehension part and translation part, of course, at the end of the series, right? So with this, I take your leave. Thank you. Thank you so much.